As we're saying, guys, the following question says simplify without the use of the calculator. So I'm going to simplify using what we call reduction formula. So now we said we are going to adopt the fact that we're going to be using a +1 method. Okay? So instead of using the reduction formula, we're going to be using the following. And then on the following, here's what we have. We have a horizontal line. Things that are falling on the horizontal line here, they have the ability to reduce. That's the only thing that they can do. They can reduce, they can make something to be smaller, something which was bigger, and then they can make it smaller. And then we also have people that are falling here on the vertical line. People who are here on the vertical line here, they have two powers. Power number one is that they can reduce. So we'll write R. Power number two is that they can change. So they can change and then they can also reduce. So as a learner, when you need to understand each and every value, what does it do? Does it reduces or it reduces and changes? So you go through each and every value which is here, you go and check what does it do. So if it reduces, you are going to simply write it with whatever acute angle that they wrote there. Now, acute angles shouldn't only be variables. So acute angles can sometimes be numerical values, which is the next lesson that we're going to be doing. Now, if you are given it as a variable, you can then say this thing here can be written as 108. You come and check where is 108. Where is 180 falling? Is it in the horizontal line or the vertical line? It's in the horizontal line, okay? On the horizontal line, they have abilities to reduce or reduce and change. They can only reduce, meaning this thing here, it can be written as the 10 of x. Can be written as the 10 of x. Regardless of whether it's positive or negative, we don't care. For now, we just want to know it's going to be reduced to 10x. Now, if we check the following, we check 360 here. What can you say about 360? Does it reduce or reduce and change? So the only thing that it can do here is to reduce. So this thing here is going to be written as the cos of whatever angle is written there. So here we have cos x all over. We go to our denominator. Then we have 108. 108 is here. If it's there, it can only reduce. This thing can be written as the sine of x. Multiply by. Then we go to 90. You see 90, Stephen? 90 is in the vertical line. Vertical line can reduce and then it changes. What happens? If it's cos, it becomes sine. If it's sine, it becomes cos. It's simple as that. There's nothing special here. Then we are going to have 90 degrees reduces and changes because it's in the vertical line. So all people who are lying in this line here, they change and reduce. So it means this thing here is going to be written as the sine of x. Whether it's positive or negative, we don't care. We'll care when we start to use our calculator. Then in between they have a plus. This is the plus that we were talking about. Then we have a problem, 540. We can see in our diagram. In our diagram, we have 36 again. We have 90, we have 18, we have 270. Now, 540, where do we find 540? Now, yeah, then you need to remember this. So for us to go from here to here, we added 90. So if we say 360 plus 90 is going to give us what? 450. And then if we say 450 plus 90 is going to give us what? 540. And then 540, can you see now? 540 is equivalent to what? To 108. So it's 540 and 180, they're exactly the same thing. Is that 108 is in the first period. 540 is in the second period. So what would we say about 540? Does it reduces and changes or it only reduces? So it only has one power, it only reduces. Meaning this thing here is going to be written as the cos of x. Then, if they didn't write anything there, we don't have our answers. You know, we're not going to have our trig ratios with negative angles. Our angles are always going to be positive. So if they gave us this thing here as a negative angle, you know, we're going to write it as the cos of x. It's like they have, yeah, if you put it this way, it's like they have cos of 0 minus x. Just they didn't put the 0 there. So where is 0? 0 is also on the reducing side. It's on the horizontal line. Okay, that is the first part. On our second part, what then do we do? We go and check each and every one of them, whether it's positive or what or negative. How do we check that? We are going to type this thing here in our original question, exactly as it appears in our original question. So you come and type the following. You will say you have 10, and then you have 180 degrees plus, where there's x, you are going to put what? Put 1. And then if you put 1 there, you check equals to. It gives you a positive answer. If it gives you a positive answer, you don't write anything there. Just leave it like that. You don't have to write positive. This thing is already positive if they didn't write anything there. You go to the next one. What is the next one? The next one we have cos 360 degrees minus 1. 360 degrees minus 1, what do we get? It's positive. We also don't write anything here. We're going to check this one then. Next. We have sine of 180 degrees minus 1. What do we get? Positive or negative answer? So we don't write anything here. We go to the next one. The next one, guys, even if my answer is sine here, I'm going to type whatever I find in my original equation, on my original equation. So what do I have in my original equation? I have cos 90 degrees plus 1. What does it give me? Negative. So I'm going to write this thing this way. It's going to be written as the minus sign, this one here. And then after that, we are going to have we can write it as cos of 540 degrees plus 1. What do you get, positive or negative? Negative. So we'll put a negative here. And then from there onwards, we say we have the cos of minus 1. If you have the cos of minus 1, what do you have? Positive. So we are done from here. The next thing that we're going to deal with here are the signs. Let's go and deal with the signs. On our numerator, we have a positive multiplied by a positive. So if we have a positive and a positive, it's going to give us the tan of x multiplied by the cos of x. And then here we're going to have a positive multiplied by a negative. What is a positive multiplied by a negative? So you're going to have all over minus the sine squared of x. Let's look at this one here. I think there's a positive here. You see positive here? So it's positive multiplied by negative multiplied by positive. What are you going to get? Minus the cos squared of x. Cos multiplied by cos is cos squared x, right? Now, remember we said when we were dealing with identities, I think it was lesson number 2. On lesson number 2, we said, if you see a 10 and then there's a fraction, you are supposed to split your fractions. You're going to divide your fraction such that it has the numerator and the one and the denominator. Meaning that I'm going to change this term. It's going to be written as the sine of x all over the cos of x. Multiplied by this cos x again. Then cos x. This is my numerator. I am also going to divide it by the denominator. What is my denominator? It's minus sine squared x minus cos squared x. If they didn't write anything on the denominator, it means there's what? 1. And then from here onwards, we can then say, if we're going to multiply here, we can clearly see here, there is something on the numerator. There is something on the what? On the denominator. So these two things, they can divide each other out. And then here you're going to be left, in your numerator, you're going to be left with sine x. Now, the other thing that we have learned on that lesson 2, we said if there's a division, we can change it. If we change the division into a multiplication, what happens is that this goes down again, and then this one is going to go up. So this is going to be written as multiplied by 1 all over. Now, look what we're going to do here. There's a negative here, there's also a negative here. If there's a negative and a negative, we're going to take out negative as a common factor. If I take out negative as a common factor, what am I supposed to be remaining on here? Sine squared x. If I take out a negative here, what am I supposed to be left with? Plus cos squared x. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. What is this? 1. So this is going to be 1. Then it means you have You're going to have the sine of x multiplied by -1. Again, this is going to be -1 divided by 1 again. Then it says -1. And then if you continue with this, it says you're going to have minus the sine of x, which is going to be your final answer. So this questions here is going to be lesson number 4. Now, in lesson number 4, we are dealing with things that are above the first period. So you will come and do the following. You will do number 1 and then number 2.